My entitled stepsister told me to babysit her son so she could go to a party, but I refused and reported her to Child Protective Services, and now she's losing her child. My stepsister has always treated me like an outsider. She was 16 when my dad got married and I really tried to get along with her. Because I never had a sister, so I would offer to drive her if she wanted to go out with friends, or sometimes even let her drive my car. She would often have a girls-only night with my stepmom, so I would leave and spend the night at a friend's house. But every time, she made it clear that she didn't want anything to do with me. However, I did admit that she couldn't be forced into having a relationship with me, so I backed off. She always called me by my name instead of brother or stepbrother, and I didn't try to force her. For her 18th birthday, my stepmom wanted to get her a car as a gift, but didn't have enough money. I gave my stepmom the money and told her to not mention my name because I didn't want to buy my stepsister's affection. She was really happy when she saw a brand new car in front of our house and thanked my stepmother a lot. But then she turned to me and said, if my real brother was still here, he would have chipped in with my mom and got me an even nicer car. But you won't even give me a cent, would you? I was really sad after hearing that. And while stepmom began scolding her, I just went inside the house quietly. We didn't have time to make up after that because my stepsister decided to move out when she went to college. Now I supported her decision and even sent her some money to help out with the rent and groceries. I was also planning on paying her tuition because I had the means for it, but she just stopped picking up our calls. She didn't call us for weeks. And even when we did talk, she just said that she's busy and didn't have any time for mom and dad anymore. My stepmother tried asking about her health and told her to stay away from substances, but my stepsister called her controlling and hung up. After that, she cut all contact for over a year. My stepmother became really sick and was bedridden for months, so I couldn't leave her and drive to my stepsister's college. But then out of nowhere, she showed up at our house with a baby in her hands. Turns out, she had gotten pregnant and was too scared to tell us because the father of the baby had disappeared. I assured her that we would never hate her and that I was going to help her raise the baby properly. I told her that although her mother was sick, I could still babysit her son whenever she wanted and that I wouldn't be against her dropping out of college. She thanked me and said she doesn't want to drop out, but needs help with paying her tuition. I immediately told her to stop worrying and that I would take care of it. I was happy she was back and thought we could finally build a relationship after all those years. But little did I know, she had no intentions of doing that. She left our baby with me and went back to college. I thought she would come back the next morning to pick him up. But for the entire next week, she didn't call or text us and only showed up after several days. I told her that her baby had been crying for his mother and that we have no way of breastfeeding him. She just said she was busy with classes and thought I said I would babysit for her. I argued that if she was planning to leave him here for a week, she should also have left some milk for me to feed him. She brushed it off and said it won't happen again and left. However, I decided to install Instagram and searched up her account because I had a bad feeling, and my gut instinct was right. She had posted pictures of parties and some even had the caption, "Bunking class because I'm free as a bird." That made no sense in my opinion, but I didn't want to burden my sick stepmom with this and just decided to wait until the next time my stepsister came over. I didn't have to wait long at all though because she was back after just 2 days. She said she was here to leave her baby with me and had brought milk this time. I confronted her about what I saw on Instagram and asked if she really was bunking class. I told her that I offered to babysit her son so she could focus on college, not so that she could party all day. She completely blew up on me and said, "Oh my God. Get off my back. You're not my dad, and you can't control me. Just do what you're supposed to and look after my baby while I'm busy." I was shocked at the way she was talking and wanted to tell her that this wasn't a way to ask for a favor, but she just bolted out the door after leaving her son on the couch. Her mother was upstairs and really wanted to meet her, but she had already left. By that point, I was getting really frustrated with her attitude. I didn't want her to continue on this path because the way she was acting, she was going to end up pregnant again. I decided that if I saw another post on her social media about partying, I was going to report her to CPS, which is a Child Protective Service in America. The worst part is that I didn't even have to wait 10 hours before that happened. My stepsister was already at the club that night and even posted a video of her grinding on some guy. I immediately called CPS and informed them about the situation. But I didn't want anything happening to the baby, so I asked them if I could adopt him along with my girlfriend. However, they just said that they're going to conduct an investigation and that the baby will most likely be taken from us. There was an option to get him back once the investigation was over, so I didn't argue too much. And 2 days later, they informed my stepsister that she would no longer have custody of her child. I expected her to be sad and fight for him, but to my absolute shock, she did something unbelievable.